In today's video, I'm going to be recording the video. I said I was going to show you guys how I record my first videos, right, in my church using the church mixer. Like, I'm in church currently, and like, I'll just show you guys everything. So let's dive into the video. Okay, so guys, this is the mixing console that I told you guys that I started using while I was recording my videos in my church. So this is what we were using as at then. Now, as you can see, this mixer is no longer looking in a good condition, but when I was using it, it was much more in a better condition than this. Some of the things are no longer working very, very much perfectly, but I know that if I want to still use it, it will still give me a good sound, but this time around, it will have some earth noise that you can still see in the recording. So let me show you guys quickly how I set up with what you need to be able to do this kind of setup quickly. So like I said, I use this USB sound card to record. I connect it directly into my phone from the mixer using a jack to jack, and I also use this box, while I also use a jack to jack cable and also my earpiece, which I'm going to be using an in-ear monitor for this video, which I have another jack to aux that I use to maybe play music, or as the case may be. I use a jack to jack, which I can literally use either to play my bass or connect to my box. Yeah, but this is the longer one. So this is what I use, like my P16, right? I use it as my P16 to connect sound from my mixer and send it into this stuff. Then I monitor from there, at the same time record from there. To get very simple like that. So I have a converter for iPhone. That is, if you are using an iPhone, so it just send the sound directly into this converter and then you record into your phone. This helps you not to be able to worry about merging audio. So, but if you are using Android phone, you can actually use the iRig. Yeah, it's very simple. I'll still show you how to use the iRig. When I got this iRig, recording became easy for me. I stopped using the USB sound card because it's much more easy. I don't need a converter, but for the USB sound card, I literally need a converter to send it into my Android phone, like an OTG converter. So you can get this. It's very also simple. The good thing about this type of setup is that you don't have to worry about merging audio, right? And it sends the sound directly into your phone, like into your phone camera. But the main thing is that you need an external cam for this to work on your phone if you're not using the iPhone, because iPhone camera is compatible with these particular devices, like especially the iRig. Yes, especially the iRig. But if you're using an Android phone, you need an external cam. But if you're using like a Samsung, some of the Samsung phones support these devices on their main cam, so you don't need an external cam, but some Samsung don't support it, so that's why you need an external cam. While I was recording this thing, I was using the camcorder cam. That was the camera that is recommended for the Go mixer. Now, one of the disadvantages of using the USB sound card to record is that it is not always supported in every phone. Once your OTG is not working properly, it will not be supported. But if you're using the iRig, it is mostly supported in most phones. That's the disadvantage of the USB sound card, why I stopped using it. Now, for a while, I've not seen the camcorder on the Play Store, but all you have to do is to get a camera that works, external camera app that works for the devices. It's as simple as that, and you should be able to go with that. So now let's quickly run through the setup from the mixer. Now I have my jack to jack cord that is going to connect my bass guitar. Let's say this is bass guitar. I plug it into the line and I set up everything in the mixer. I bring down all the volumes in the mixer because I have mics plugged into this mixer. Remember that this is a church mixer, so I don't have to start unplugging everything in the mixer because it's going to affect the Sunday service. So I just bring down everything on the volume, then increase only the bass guitar, which I've plugged into the mixer. Then next thing I plug is the next line that's going to collect my music. That's if I'm playing a cover. Then I have this setup already. That's into my phone for music. Mind you, when I'm doing a video, that's when I turn up mic. But if you don't have to do a music, you don't have to turn up the mics, right? You don't have business with the mic. Then I set up the levels of the volume with the music to make sure that it's rhyming with what I want to play. Very simple like that. Of course, if I'm playing a bass cover, my bass should be a bit louder than the music. I am going to connect my sound that's going to collect me the sound from the earphone jack, which I'm going to plug into the earphone output, which I'm going to be hearing everything that I'm setting up from the mixing board into my earphone with my jack to jack. Then I'll send it into my box. This is jack that I'm going to use to connect that into the earphone port. Then I control the volume from the earphone level that is there It's as simple as that. This is the earphone. Then all I have to do is to connect it now using that jack to jack into my P16. Like I said before, that's not the P16, guys, but that's how I like to refer to that box, as my P16. Then I connect it. What this does is that it extends the channel I have for the output, which I'm going to monitor at the same time, record my audio into it. So with using my converters, that is from jack to earpiece, like, you understand, jack to aux. So I plug in my earphone to monitor from that output. Then I plug in the output that's going to take sound into my devices, whether I'm using the USB sound card or I'm using the iRig. As simple as that. So I'm plugging in my earphone already. So now what this helps me to do is that I can literally control the volume of everything at the same time. At the same time, while I'm recording, whatever I'm hearing in my record is what is going into my video that I'm recording. So this helps me not to be able to record something that I'll now, after I'm done recording, I'll now notice that there is error in the recording, or at some point the music is not coming up. You get? So I'm collecting the same frequency to every of the devices I'm recording from. That's as simple as that. Now let's talk about volume levels. Now whenever I'm setting these volumes, I make sure that the volume that is going into the record, because I already extended the channels for the output, so the volume that is going into the record, I make it to be much more lower. If I'm using maybe 12 o'clock for my monitor, I will not use 12 o'clock for the record. Why is it like that? Because it's going to burst. You get, like, the sound is going to, I'm going to get a buzzy sound. Very simple like that. Then I make sure sometimes even go lower. When you're doing this kind of budget recording sound, you have to make sure that your sound is coming out clean. So most times you have to record like multiple, like 3 videos to use and set up. Maybe when I set up, I record the first video. If it is not sounding clean and clear, I know what to adjust. If it's the music or my bass guitar, I go and adjust it. If it's my master volume, I go ahead and adjust it. As simple as that. So after this is done, the next thing you have to do, you have already plugged in your monitoring. The next thing you have to plug in is the one that's going to send sound into your USB sound card or whatever device you're going to use. So I cannot use a jack to jack since I already have that. I'm going to use a jack to aux, this device. So it's going to send sound because my USB sound card is an aux device, like it has something like an aux, but I'm using a converter here to show you an example. So I'm going to just plug in the aux device into my converter, because my converter has 3 outputs: the one that shows mic, the one that shows earphone, and the one that shows charging. So I'm going to plug into the earphone, the one that shows record, right, like a mic icon. So when I plug it into that space, I can now plug it into my phone. So set up the volume level like I already said before. So whatever I'm recording, whatever I'm hearing in my ear, that's the same way it's going into the record. But this time around, I set up different volume levels. Now using the iRig, what I need is a jack to jack to collect my sound from my P16. That's what I like to call it in this video. So just take it like that. So I connect it into my P16 and then set up the same volume level for it. Then it's as simple as that. I plug it into that spot that shows guitar on the iRig. You see the drawing of the icon guitar. Then I plug it into my phone for the Android, or if you are using like the iPhone that has the earphone jack output. It's as simple as that. Now guys, when you're doing this type of setup, all you need to know is that you don't need your amplifier to be turned on. You just need the mixer. Now when you're doing this, it's very important that if you have a sound engineer in your church, you just have to do this with the consent of the sound engineer. For me, in my church, I had the privilege to be able to operate the mixer without the consent of the sound engineer, because we are the people actually operating the mixer during the service. You get? So it's much more easier because I really understand the setup in my church. So I'm not going to mess it up while I'm trying to set up my own recording for my video. It's as simple as that. Now if you can actually afford a small mixer, like a 4-channel or 2-channel mixer, I did that too. You can get it from a local market, right, for second hand. If you can't buy a new one, it's very easy like that. You set up and you do the same procedure for it, and you'll be able to record clean and clear audio. When you're using a small mixer, you record more cleaner sound than this bigger mixer. If your mixer is not in good condition in your church, or if you cannot access the mixer in your church like I can, it's very simple. At some point, I had to get a smaller mixer because going to church to record is not easy, because sometimes you have to go to church and there's no light. You have to wait until they brings light, stuffs like that, and you cannot turn on the trunk generator. It's not as easy as that. So guys, in my next video about how I record without a sound card using just my laptop, I'm going to show you guys how I do that using just this guy, my P16. This guy is like so many things to me. My P16, my sound card, and a lot of things. Like, you cannot even tell. Like, I don't know what to say. I had this guy for like 4 years, and I'm not even ready to separate from this guy. I know they have the active version of it, but yes, you can still go ahead and check it. This is like the passive version of the whole stuff to get. So guys, this is like time to turn on the whole mixing so you guys can see how it sounds like. But the fortunate thing is that there is no light for me to be able to turn on this whole stuff. I wish I could be able to show you guys how it sounded with light, right? But there's no light, and I cannot turn on the George generator at this point because of the price of fuel. But yet, guys, I know if you try out this setup, it's gonna definitely work. It's gonna, I don't know, but I'm assuring you guys, it's gonna definitely work fine and clean. This is how I've been recording. I'm gonna show you guys videos I recorded. If you can go and check my old videos, you will see that I was using literally nothing to record those videos, but then it was coming out very clean and clear, like up to a little bit standard. I know it's not up to standard, like standard, but yet it was coming out clean and clear. So if that sounds like what you want to try out, please try it out and tell me what you experienced in the comment section. That's if you watched till the end of this video, guys. But until next time, guys, see you in my next video of how to record without a laptop. Wow, very simple. Peace, guys. So guys, I'm done recording now. Yeah, this is it. This is how the whole church view looks like. I'm almost forgetting my bass, guys. I almost forgot. I came with my bass so I could literally be able to record and show you guys exactly how everything is. But unfortunately for me, there is no light. There is no light, guys. I wish I could literally turn on the gen, but I can't. It's just what it is. I can't. All right, guys. Peace.